Good evening, viewer. Today, don't by the way, don't mind about my Domino shirt. Yes, I work at Domino's. Well, anyways, today I'm going to be telling the story of the Russian sleep experiment. Now, throughout the video, viewer, I will be giving you some advice of the sleep experiment. I will be telling you the full story. Well, not the full story. Well, parts of the story that you may understand about what's going on. And I will be giving you some thoughts and opinions about my opinions and thoughts at the end of what I think the sleep experiment was actually about. So, right here, I have opened the Russian sleep experiment. At the top, it basically just tells what it's all about, but I'm going to be reading the story to you. The Russian sleep experiment is creepypasta which tells the tale of five test subjects being exposed to experimental inhibiting at a Soviet scientific experiment, which has become the basis of an urban legend. Many news organizations trace the story's origination to a website, now known as Creepypasta Wiki, being posted on August 10, 2010 by the username of Orange Soda, whose real name is unknown. So basically, Russian sleep experiments. Well, that part was actually not important at all. So yes, so right here I actually have the story myself. So here we go. The story recounts as an experiment said in 1947 at a, at a covered Soviet test facility. In a military scientific experiment, the five prisoners, remember there was five later on, five, pris- five prisoners that were deemed enemies of the state were kept in a sealed gas chamber. Remember that. When experiments a gas-based compound continually administered to keep the subjects awake for 30 days. Basically, there are five. Five. Remember that there was five prisoners later on. Because that five, remember five. Remember. So basically, five prisoners were, they're like, blamed to be, enemies of the state. So they were kept in gas chamber that released gas that that would keep you awake for 30 days. Basically, you could not sleep for 30 days. That means you have to stay awake for 38 days, which is crazy. The prisoners were falsely promised that they would be set free for the prison if they completed the experiment in the 30 days. That was actually a lie. The subjects behaved as usual during the initial 5 days, talked to each other and whispering. The researchers going on yeah, basically they were talking to each other for hours, while the others did not react to his outburst. So I forgot to read the part. I'm so stupid. So basically, after 9 days, one of the prisoners started screaming like crazy, and that's it. That was basically like the whole story. They just talked to each other later on, like 9 days later. One of the prisoners started like screaming like uncontrollably, so like for hours. The man screamed so long that he tore off his vocal cords and was redeemed mute as a result. Yeah. When the second one started screaming, the others prevented the researchers from looking inside by pasting torn book pages and their own feces on the porthole windows. So basically, shut up, go away. So basically, these guys start going crazy, like started screaming, and they didn't want to get released, or they wanted the the researchers to come inside. So basically, they like covered the door with like anything like they can find, like anything that was like on the like anything that was in the room. They like covered the door with it, so no one can get inside. A few days passed without the researchers being able to look inside, during which chamber was completely silent. The researchers used the intercom to test if the subjects were alive and got a short response, and the subject experiment, yes, expressing. Yeah. Basically, they were still alive. Some were still alive. On the 15th day, the researchers decided to turn off the simulated gas and reopen the chamber. The subjects did not want the gas turned off, fearing they would fall asleep. Upon looking inside, they discovered the four surviving subjects had performed lethal and several mutations disembowelment on themselves during the past days, including tearing off sections of the skin muscle, removed multiple internal organs, past self-cannibalism on themselves, as well as cannibalism on the second subject, allowing 10 centimeters 4 inches of blood and water to accumulate on the floor. By jamming paper and pieces of flesh they tore from the sex subject, got several drains, who was found dead on the floor as soon as the chamber was opened. Basically, as 15 days later, four subjects were going crazy and they started tearing each other apart. One subject died. Yeah. Basically, they started tearing each other apart, started eating each other, and one guy died. Okay, I'm trying to find it. Okay. The test subjects finally refused to leave the chamber and begged the scientists to continue administering the simulation, murdering one of the soldiers and several injuring others that attempted to remove them. After eventually being removed from the chamber, all subjects were shown to exhibit extreme strength, resistance, and athletics, and basically all that. So basically, the gas. Well, not it's not. Well, I'm gonna explain about the gas later on. Basically, as these guys were going on for the past 15 days, these guys experienced like strength and like resistance. So like basically superhuman strength. I'm trying to find it. Sorry. Okay. The ability to remain alive despite lethal injuries and despite desire to stay awake and be given in the simulation. It was also found that if any one of the subjects fell asleep, they would die. Basically, after being somewhat treated for their several injuries, the surviving three, two of them died, were prepared to return to the gas chamber with the simulation by ordering the military officials throw against with one of the researchers with egg monitors showing some moments of brain death before the chamber was sealed. One of the subjects fell asleep and died. Now there's two of them with, and only and the only subject that could speak screamed to immediate seal of the chamber. The military commander ordered the three other researchers to be closed inside the chamber alongside the two remaining subjects. One researcher immediately drew his gun and killed the commander and the mute guy by shooting both of them in the head, causing the other person to flee from the room to be called people. Okay, I read that wrong. He just killed the guy. With only one subject, with only one surviving subject, the terrified researchers explained that he would not allow himself to be locked in a room with a monster that could no longer be called people. Yeah, that's the line right there. He desperately asked what the subject was, which the subject smiled and identified himself as one of the following subjects as his internal evil inside the human mind that kept in check by the act of sleep. After a brief pause, the researcher shot the person in the heart, and with his dying breath on the floor, the subject murmured his final words, "So nearly free." And if you want like the smallest recap, basically there were five soldiers. Okay, they were kept in a chamber full of gas that could not that can't that they can't sleep at all. 9 days later, one guy starts going crazy, another guy starts going crazy. They make sure like no one can see what was going on in the room by covering the windows. 50 days later, three okay, I kind of forgot the story, but three guys survived. No, there was four. Yeah, four. They started tearing each other apart. They started eating each other. They started eating like the one guy that was dead, and what else did they do? They got released from the chamber, and the scientists did like little experiments on them. Basically, they gained superhuman strength and resistance, and they were put back in the chamber to see, just to see. And basically, two died because one just randomly died because of brain death. One of them died because they got shot in the head alongside the commander. One got shot by a man, which they explain themselves as to be evil. Here are my thoughts. The gas, as you all know, could have the gas was mainly made just to keep them from being asleep. After these are my thoughts. After they got gassed, they realized that they could blink, but they could not fall asleep. Like they tried laying on the bed, closing their eyes. They felt like they were still just feel like they were just relaxing, like on the bed, like this. And apparently the room was dark. Like there was no lights at all. Like there was dark. The gas that these are my thoughts. Remember, guys, these are my thoughts. My thoughts. I'm just gonna put my thoughts up here. The gas that uh that infected the prisoners uh like 9 days later, after like they start going crazy, they start to hallucinate about terrible things, and they start going crazy, like the one guy that was screaming. My one thought is that he got gassed the most. Like he got, like he breathed in like the like most of the gas, and he started hallucinating terrible things, which makes him start screaming so much that he burst his vocal cords. As for the other guys, as they continue to breathe in the gas, they start hallucinating as well, and the gases drove these guys crazy as hell in their brains. In their brains, they were not good in the brains, so they decided to hurt each other, tear each other apart, eat each other, and then later on, they got uh, they got more evil. And they say one of them said, like, after they died, they said that they um they got evil in them because they probably, this is my thoughts. I have to repeat myself because you guys probably think, oh no, what about that? Oh no, what about that? I just have to keep on saying that these are my thoughts. So as the last surviving guy, he thought that uh the gas was evil and was like inside his body, and he thought he was gonna become part of the evil as for his scary appearance. Yes. And the reason he probably said that fully, like, he hold on. What was the line again? Damn, bro, I forgot. So nearly free. When the last prisoner that survived, when he said so nearly free, my thought was that when he said so nearly free was that the prisoner was not fully evil yet. Like as the creepy monster that when you look up sleep experiment, you see like a mummy just like standing like this. That's probably him. That's probably what they look like after like the gas. And my thoughts when he says so nearly free was that he was not fully evil yet. So that means he was like what, half of evil, like 5 out of 10. And if he was still in there, he would be a full 10 out of 10. I guess like demon or something, or like he would be like a sin, like a god, like God's enemy, or something like that. And what are my other thoughts? And I guess that's it. Oh wait, there's actually one thought. The gas that it's about the gas. The gas that they emitted probably had some uh some effects of rabies, causing these guys to go like crazy as hell. Like the gas probably had like tiny these tiny effects of rabies, causing these guys to go like just go crazy. And that's all my thoughts for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to hear more about the sleep experiments, I will read you some more and give you more thoughts. Please let me know, and I hope you have a good day.